Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a book review for Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas or Moss. I don't have the book with me because I borrowed it from the library, but I ordered Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight from the book depository, so I'm waiting for those books to come in. And oh my gosh, I loved Throne of Glass. It was so good. But before I get on with the review, I just want to tell you guys a little story. So, I always heard
Throne of Glass in BookTube. You know, it's really popular, there's a lot of hype, but I had no interest in reading it at all because it's fantasy, and I do not like fantasy books. I do not read fantasy books. And I heard it was about an assassin, and I was like, no, it's not my cup of tea. But I was in the library one day, and I saw that my library had Throne of Glass, so I decided to pick it up and give it a try because I wanted to see what all the hype was about on BookTube. And oh my gosh, I am so glad I picked up the book because it was so amazing. Oh my gosh. Like, Throne of Glass is probably one of my favorite books that I read this year. It was that good. And yeah, I'm just so glad I picked it up. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to get Crown of Midnight because I really want to know what happens next. And oh my gosh, like I said before, this book just blew me away. It was so good.
Of course, I gave it 5 out of 5 lily pads because it really deserved it. It was amazing. So while I was reading Throne of Glass, I was thinking that this book, it's basically like the Hunger Games, The Selection, and Divergent mixed in one book. Like, it was so much like those 3 books because it was like the Hunger Games and Divergent because there was a lot of fighting and stuff. But it was also like The Selection because it was a lot about like competitions and like who gets voted. I mean, well, not voted, but like whoever wins. And like it was also like The Selection because it has kings in it, it has princes and princesses, and it takes place in a castle. So I love books about like royalty and like stuff like that. So oh my gosh. So it was just so good. So like I said before, this book blew me away. When I read the beginning of the book, I was kind of like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like this, but as I read more of it, I loved it. It was just so good. And I will tell you guys why I loved it. The writing was so good. Oh my gosh, this book would be such a great movie. I loved it. And yeah, this book introduced me to fantasy books, so maybe I will give the other fantasy books a try. And I loved the characters in this book. So I'll tell you guys what this book is about. So I'm gonna try my best to explain it because I'm going to be completely honest, guys. I am not good at describing books. I know other booktubers are way better at describing books than I am, so I'm just going to give it a try. And also, this book is kind of hard to describe. So basically, it's about an 18-year-old girl named Selena.
Selena, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll just say Selena. And she's 18 years old, and her parents died when she was younger. And so she spent the last couple years, like, doing, like, labor work and slavery and stuff like that. And so one day, the prince of... Okay, guys, please tell me if I'm saying this wrong. The name of the country, is it... I thought it was Adarlan. I don't know. How do you pronounce it? How do you guys... Please comment below and tell me, how do you pronounce it? Because it looks like it says like Adarlan, something like that. But anyway, the king's son, the prince, his name is Dorian. He, like, found Selena. And Selena is, like, the #1 best assassin in the world. Like, she is just so amazing. And so Dorian brought her to his kingdom. And so basically there's this competition that Selena is in where she has to train and fight against other champions. And if Selena wins the competition, she makes a deal with Dorian and the king. So the deal is, if she wins, she has to be the king's champion for 4 years. I think it's 4 years. For 4 years, and after that, she gets complete freedom. She gets to be completely free from everything she had to do before she went there. So basically, the book is her living in the castle, training and competing and fighting with the other champions. And oh my gosh, it was so, so good.
Another question. I'm sure some people are going to ask me this. The question is, are you Team Kale or Team Dorian? And the love triangle was sort of hard, so because I liked Kale, he was fine, but he wasn't. I mean, he was in the book a lot, but he wasn't in it as much as Dorian. Like Dorian was with Selena a lot more, but I did like Kale. Kale is the captain of the guard, which reminds me of Aspen, but he's not the captain, I don't think. But anyway, he's the captain of the guard, and so since he's the guard, he's sort of like serious all the time and tough and stuff like that. So I kind of had a hard time liking him, but I did like him, especially after what happened at the end of the book. I started to really like him. He's a good guy, but there just wasn't a lot of him in the book, so hopefully in Crown of Midnight he's in there a lot more. And if you guys have read Crown of Midnight, please do not spoil anything in the comments. I don't want any spoilers until I read the book. And then there's Dorian. Okay guys, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I am Team Dorian right now. In Throne of Glass, I am Team Dorian because I loved Dorian. He was so sweet. Like I said before, he's such a great guy. Like, he was in the book more than Kale was. So basically, he hung out with Selena more. They had a cute relationship. Like, he would always, like, jokingly tease her. And he would, like, he always talked to her. He always hung out with Selena. And they became friends. And they got along. And, yeah. But he was just the sweetest guy. I can't say anything without spoilers, but I will do spoilers, and I'll tell you guys when. Like right now this is a spoiler-free review, so I will do a spoiler section. But he is the sweetest guy. I loved Dorian, and so yeah, I have my reasons why I'm Team Dorian because, like I said, he was just so incredible. And yeah. I think right now I'm going to get to the spoiler section because there's not much I can say without spoilers because I have reasons for liking the characters and the reasons are the spoilers. So if you guys haven't read Throne of Glass, I suggest you guys turn this off right now and come back when you have read the whole thing. So anyway. So like I said, I love Selena. She's such a... I didn't say why I loved her, did I? I love Selena. She's such an awesome character. She's so tough. But yet she has a really kind heart. Like she makes friends with people in the castle. And really, she's a good person. I also love her because she is a reader. She loves to read. And I loved that part of the book. It was cute because Dorian recommends her books. Like, Dorian gives her books to read that he loved. He said to her, you have to read these books because I love them. So that's another cool bond her and Dorian have. I mean, Kale likes to read too. He even said it. But, I don't know. I just think right now Dorian and Selena have more chemistry than Selena and Kale. But maybe wrong. I don't know what happened in Crown of Midnight. But anyway, let's just get on. I told you I also like Dorian because, like I said, he's the sweetest guy. I love the part where he
gave her the puppy. That was just the cutest thing. Like when he gave Selena the puppy, I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I had a guy who would give me a puppy. He was just so sweet. And the part where he gave Selena the candy, that part was just so funny. And if you guys read the book, don't know what I'm talking about when I said it was funny. I don't want to say too much. Okay. Moving on to other characters, Cain. Oh my
gosh. So Cain is basically like Peter from Divergent. He's the mean one, he's arrogant, he thinks he's gonna win the competition, blah blah blah. And the ending reveals a lot about Cain, and I had some questions. I was sort of like, how did Cain know all of her family's secrets and stuff like that? I had no idea. But I did find out at the end, and By the way, guys, I had a feeling Kane was the one who was murdering the champions. I knew he was the murderer. I just knew it. Because who else? Honestly, who else could it have been? So the part with the final duel, I was literally on the edge of my seat, wanted to know what happens. There was so much suspense. I was like, Selena, you have to win this. Beat Kane. Like, I know she beat the other guy. What was his name? Grave. I think his name was Grave or something like that. Or I forgot the names. But I knew she was gonna beat that guy. But you guys, if you guys read the book, you'll know what happens when she fights against Kane. Oh my gosh. It was so mean.
When, what's her name? Is it Kelton? Kelton? The girl? It was so mean when she and Kane drugged her, when they drugged Selena during the fight, so she would lose. I was thinking, like, when she was fighting against Kane, I was like, this is so unfair, because of course the drug made her not have any energy, she had no strength, and so Kane kept beating her up, and I was like, no, don't beat up Selena, no. I felt so bad for her, because it wasn't her fault, and the king didn't notice. I mean, did anyone even notice something was wrong? I know Dorian and Kale both kind of noticed something was off, but oh my gosh, I was like, can they just stop fighting and then reschedule the duel the next day? But the whole drug thing was so cruel. I was like, no, Selena, no. Oh my gosh. Kane was the biggest jerk face. And also, I also love Selena because she's very kick butt. And like, oh my gosh, I love the part where she beat up, what's his name? Is his name Varen? Varen? Is it Varen? But anyway, I love the part where she beat him up. I forgot exactly what she says. But it was so funny, and I was cheering her on. And then the part where she saved Nox, that was so sweet of her. I love the part where she told Nox to just, like, run away. She's like, run away from the castle and don't come back. And, like, I felt like Nox was a good guy. I did like him. So I'm glad Selena was friends with him. And then the next character I wanted to discuss was Nehemia.
Is it Nehemia or is it Nehema? Because I've heard different things. I'm just going to say Nehemia because that's how it looks like it's pronounced to me. So I loved Nehemia. She was such a sweet girl. I know she's a princess from a different country. And Selena made friends. She became friends with her, and I thought that was so cute because I love how Selena actually made friends in the castle, and it was so cute. And when Selena thought that Nehemia was the murderer, I was like, no, it can't be her because Nehemia, she's just too sweet and nice. I just really liked her, and she was such a great character. And I know she saved Selena from what happened. If you guys read the book, you'll know. And like, oh, that was so sweet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, And then also, I told you guys before, at the end of the book, I started to like Kale more, and I'll tell you why. I ended up liking Kale a lot more at the end of the book because, as you guys know, Kale saved her. So, when Selena won, Kane was going to, hit her in the back or something like that. And then I love Kale now. And then Kale killed Kane. I'm like, yes. I was like, die, Kane, die. And so I was so happy when Kale killed him. I like Kale. He's a good guy. And Kale felt so bad for killing Kane because for some reason the king loves Kane. And I'm like, why? I don't see why. But really, Kale felt bad for killing him because he never killed someone before. But I was like, oh yeah, go Kale. I like you now. I like him now. He has his moments where he can be nice to Selena and stuff like that. He's a guard, so he's sort of serious all the time. And another character I wanted to talk about was the king. Am I the only one who thought the king was, so mean? After Selena won, when she was declared as the king's champion, the king didn't even want her to be his champion. He just wanted to bring her back to Endovier. And I thought that was so mean. I just didn't like the king. He was so mean. Anyway, bye guys. I love you. Happy reading. And go read Thorn and Glass right now.